food, medical equipment, and other much-needed supplies.
The president, during his speech, receiving I lost count of standing ovations, said it is a new beginning, not just for Israel, but for the Middle East.
He's also encouraging other Arab nations to join in, support this ceasefire for the betterment of the region. So as the war, at least this phase, appears to be coming to an end in Gaza, the impacts still linger, and not just in Israel, not just in Gaza, but here in the U.S.
Locally, the Jewish community celebrating the high holiday season over the weekend. WEAR's Arias Serker joining us live, but people have been reflecting and talking about the progress of the peace deal and how long it might last.
Yeah, as they celebrate what is called the happiest day of the year on the Jewish calendar, the Pensacola Jewish community is reflecting, saying that the progress that's being made in this peace deal is making this holiday one of the best yet. Gil Fried is a dual citizen of both the United States and Israel, with most of his family still living overseas. He and his family have been anxiously waiting for the day the war comes to an end.
It's been something that has been on our minds for 2 years, and if it materializes, we're going to be ecstatic, and this will be the best holiday ever.
The first phase for the peace deal required all Israeli hostages to return home, and they have been released back to Israel this morning. Some people in the Jewish community here fear that the peace agreement is not enough, as they cannot forget the decades of history during this war. Reporting live, back to you.
Similar reactions really as we go online. Some people are skeptical that this thing can hold. Others are praising the move and thanking President Trump. Just for example, Janie writes, they have agreed before and blew through it. We'll see. I am praying that peace prevails.
From Willie, he says, unfortunately, there will never be peace in that region.
And Jeff adds, I sure hope this lasts more than a few weeks. We'll be covering those developments throughout the morning, but we want to move back here to Northwest Florida. One person dead after a crash in Escambia County.
This one happened about 8 o'clock Saturday night on Highway 29 south of the paper mill, Woodbury Circle specifically. A sedan, apparently traveling at high speed, crossed the median, hit an SUV. The sedan driver, a 28-year-old Pensacola woman, critically injured at the hospital. Her passenger, a 30-year-old Cantonment man, died at the scene.
And the SUV driver, a 72-year-old man from Flomaton, we are told has serious injuries. His passenger was a 70-year-old woman. She is seriously injured as well, and they were both taken to the hospital.
And we'll tell you about this, a shooting investigation, another shooting, this one in Foley.
Yeah, we have this information from the Foley police. It happened just before 9 last night in the 1000 block of East Azalea Avenue. There is one adult victim who was taken to the hospital, and right now Foley police are asking for any information you might have.
It is 7:04. Glad you're tuning in to the Morning Current. The fair starts Thursday.
Well, you know what that means.
Cold weather?
Sort of. I always say wear warm socks because by evening you're going to be missing those, right? Good morning, Brooke.
Hey, good morning. Well, we actually have a bit of a warm up as we head into the end of the week. So we are going to be looking at some warmer temperatures going through those overnights. So it's going to be one of those weird years where we're going to be looking at warmer weather for the fair. We do have some lovely weather right now over our Okaloosa Island camera. It is gorgeous. We do have that beautiful sunrise this morning. It is going to look lovely as you go throughout your day. Temperatures currently in the 60s and the 50s. It is cool this morning. We'll get back into the mid 80s for your highs, and then will be looking at just sunny skies with that. Not too much of a breeze right now. We're seeing maybe 3 to 6 miles an hour along the coast. We'll have just a light breeze as you go into your afternoon. It does come with those sunny skies, and we will have sunny skies into most of the week. We will start to see some small rain chances moving in for the weekend. As you head out the door today, it is going to look lovely. Your temperatures will be warming up into those mid 80s. We're starting off right now 50s, 60s. We will get into the 70s by 9 a.m., 79 by 11. Your highs today in the low to mid 80s.
Let's get a look outside, shall we? I-110 near Cervantes in Pensacola at 7:06. Light traffic, no issues to report.
And as you start your Monday, we are nearing the end of week 2 of the federal government shutdown.
13 days. Now, the Senate does not meet today. It's a federal holiday. They're expected to get back together tomorrow afternoon. The House will stay out since they've already passed the Republican-backed funding bill. They did that on the 19th.
3 Democrats actually switched over, but still 6 votes short of the 60 they need in the Senate. 2 days left until federal workers miss their paychecks, and officials are working to make sure that at least the troops are paid. Meanwhile, some interesting developments in the national parks.
Yeah, it does seem that way. National Park Service issuing a warning about base jumpers in Yosemite, El Capitan in particular. A base jump, in case you don't know, is jumping off a fixed object like a mountain or a bridge or something like that. It's been prohibited in national parks since way back in the 1980s. They say base jumping is illegal in all national parks.
But what is happening is that with the effort to keep the parks open, even without staffing, people are taking advantage of, if you will, the lack of supervision. And they're having all kinds of incidents, dozens of reports, of a matter of fact, of unauthorized base jumping and climbing of some of the other structures out there.
We love your participation in the Morning Current, any number of ways, including pictures and videos. You can text WEAR-TV to 95577. Easier still, just chime in from our websites.
And stay here, former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez booked into jail over the weekend. We have the latest following that stabbing incident in Indiana.
A deadly shooting at a South Carolina bar. The investigation underway. 4 people killed, more than a dozen injured. We'll try to figure it out.
You know, last night at the show, it was getting a bit late. I'm not sure that we left till 10, and so many people said, "Are you still doing the show tomorrow?" I said,
"Of course Laura's still doing the show."
With coffee, people, with coffee. Sports broadcaster Mark Sanchez is out of jail this morning after that stabbing incident in Indiana.
He was discharged from the hospital, then he arrested. Indianapolis Sunday. He was booked into the jail, felony battery count, 3 misdemeanor charges. Police released booking photo over the weekend because of the high level of interest, they say.
Sanchez was allowed to travel home to California. He's 38, and he was injured in a fight with a 69-year-old truck driver on October 4th.
Apparently in town, covering a game at Lucas Oil Stadium between the Raiders and the Colts. Police say that Sanchez approached the victim, upset over where his truck was parked at a hotel loading dock.
And then police say they ended up in a physical fight with Sanchez actually in the guy's truck. The victim, police say, feared for his life. That's when he stabbed Sanchez several times in the torso, he says, in self-defense.
The victim with some lacerations to his face, also, by the way, filing a civil suit against Sanchez and Fox. Sanchez's brother says he's focused on recovering and the legal process, I'm sure.
More to come. At least 4 people are dead and 16 injured after a shooting at a South Carolina bar.
This one happened early Sunday morning in St. Helena Island on the coast between Savannah and Charleston. 4 in critical condition. Some of the injured showed up to ERs on their own. There's no arrests so far. They're investigating, quote, a person of interest.
The victims have not yet been identified. This is early in the investigation, but the owner of the bar says chaos broke out and he believes he heard something that sounded like machine gun fire. The bar, the owner says, was full of alumni from a local high school and they were hosting some kind of event there.
Professional security working the event. The owner says one of the security guards was killed in that shooting.
All right.
Week 7 of college football in the books once again. A weekend of shockers across the board.
Brooke, your Knowles.
Yeah, I know. They lost 34-31 to unranked Pittsburgh. They're now 0-3 in ACC play. They responded too late in the game to get the lead. No conference win since September 21st of last year, the Knowles.
Well, and it wasn't that great for Florida either. They lost to Texas A&M 34-17. Even with a strong start in the first half, the offense just couldn't keep it up. Florida right now the only team to play 4 straight top 10 opponents during a regular season since 1968.
Alabama
Can all get behind the UWF Argos. They beat Shawan 40-10, makes their season 6-0. They held Shawan to only 8 first downs in the game.
It's great to get fired and get millions of dollars.
How does that work?
It works really well. Penn State fired their head coach, James Franklin, after 12 seasons. They're going to pay him to leave $49 million.
Yeah, the associate head coach is going to serve now as the head coach for the remainder of the season. It comes after losing to UCLA and Northwestern back-to-back. Penn State is the first team since FBS and FCS split in 1978 to lose consecutive games while being favored by 20-plus points.
All the teams with some big preps to make as we head into week 8. We're going to check out the lineup for next weekend.
Florida versus Mississippi State, number 6 Alabama versus number 11 Tennessee, right here on WEAR. Well, sort of. We're on WFGX. We work together. Auburn is now Auburn versus 16 Missouri, FSU versus Stanford, UWF at West Alabama.
All right, Brooke, some regions of the U.S. dealing with some pretty dangerous weather today.
Yeah, we are looking at a powerful nor'easter. It's slamming the Atlantic states. You know, authorities are reporting numerous water rescues in the Carolinas yesterday because of the rip currents associated with the northeaster. New Jersey has already declared a state of emergency Saturday night, and FlightAware reports more than 7,000 delays yesterday, especially at airports in New York and Boston.
And then we have typhoon remnants in Alaska, flooding there, entire homes off the foundations. Look at that. Dozens of people have had to be rescued, and at this point there may be dozens still unaccounted for.
Good morning. It is 7:15. This is your live shot of the Interstate I-10 near Pine Forest Road. A little busy, but traffic moving smoothly there. At this moment in time, there's nothing out there that should slow you down.
First Warning WeatherNet is sponsored by Peden Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electrical. Here is meteorologist Brooke Richardson.
Shout out to Holly Navarre Fire District. These are the crew of Engine 41. This is not their standard firefighter equipment, however. There was a delivery driver who was in an accident a couple days ago, and so just like the good guys that they are, they made sure that she was okay, and then they delivered dinner.
Good work, gentlemen. Good work.
Can you imagine you're waiting for your DoorDash and then the fire truck pulls up? You're like, oh.
No, actually, I can't imagine that, because like anytime you get an emergency vehicle in your neighborhood, all the neighbors come out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Gotta see
What's going on?
Yeah.
It's just a hamburger, y'all.
You're like, I just wanted pizza. That's fine.
Everything's fine. All right. Tributes are pouring in for the late Diane Keaton, and we're going to get to that in a minute, but let's get to your forecast.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about our forecast now. We do have some lovely weather right now. It is looking gorgeous this morning. We are going to have some beautiful weather as we head into the rest of your day today. It's just going to be perfect out there. We do have perfect weather through the beginning of the week, and then that humidity starts to creep back in for the end of the week, and that's going to create some warmer temperatures for us. Right now, we do have some lovely weather over our Hardee's camera, nice and sunny. Radar is looking very very dry. We are going to have those nice sunny skies through the afternoon. Let's look at what we can expect through the next couple of days, because not much of a change today. Tomorrow, Wednesday, small changes. You can see we do have those nice clear skies through today. Beautiful on Tuesday. Heading into Wednesday, we will start to see a little bit of a shift in those winds. They'll come a little more out of the east. This is going to help to usher in some of that moisture, so we will start to feel slightly more of those humid conditions. It is going to be feeling just a bit warmer heading into the end of the week. It's especially going to be impacting those overnight temperatures. Now, overall, not looking at much of a rain chance through the week. We'll have some small rain chances filter in for the weekend. We need the rain in the area. We're looking abnormally dry to moderate drought conditions across the area, so we certainly need some of that rain in the region. If we do happen to see some of those pop up Saturday, Sunday, it is a welcome sight, especially inland. That's going to be where we need the most help with some of that rain. Now, temperature-wise, 50s right now, few 60s. It is waking up nice, cool, feels like fall out there. Highs today in the mid 80s. We're not going to have much of a change with your highs. Still anywhere from the low to mid 80s through the rest of the week. What we're going to see is we're going to see that humidity increase. So by the time you hit Thursday, you'll start to notice it feels a little more muggy outside. We'll start to feel that humid air going into Friday, Saturday, and that is going to be impacting those overnight temperatures, 60s and 50s for the next couple of mornings, but then we'll be in the 70s as you wake up, really starting Friday, going to be feeling a little bit of that warmer weather. Let's talk tropics now, because we are in hurricane season. We have been dealing with a very active hurricane season, but most of the storms staying in the open waters of the Atlantic, and that's exactly what we're looking at with Tropical Storm Lorenzo, our newly named tropical storm. It is expected to remain tropical storm strength as it turns in the open waters. No threat to the U.S., but something we will continue to watch. As for the sea-tone rain forecast, 1 foot for the Gulf. Winds are variable today at about 5 knots, and we do have your yellow flags flying, with a good chance we will be seeing our yellow flags to green flags later on today. Low to moderate rip current risk. Let's get you through your week ahead. We do have a beautiful week in store. It is going to be looking lovely. Your temperatures today going to be in the mid 80s. We'll have plenty of sunshine, nice clear skies throughout your entire day. We're going to be looking at some nice weather heading into Tuesday, Wednesday. You'll start to notice some changes, mid to upper 60s as you wake up Thursday morning, Thursday night, staying in the 70s, and we will be looking at those warmer overnights as we have that humidity build back in for the weekend. As we head into the weekend, we are looking at some small rain chances to build in. We'll be starting with about a 30% chance of rain on that Saturday. It will be an isolated chance of a stray shower, and then we'll increase it slightly on Sunday with about a 40% chance of some showers and thunderstorms. Once again, still going to be looking at an isolated pop-up chance as you head through the weekend. Overall, still going to have mostly sunny skies mixed in with just that small rain chance heading in through the afternoons.
So many in Hollywood reacting to the passing of Diane Keaton. We'll hear what some of them had to say. certainly was, heard the news that Diane Keaton, at 79 years old, is gone.
It was a surprise. Her public appearances, she seemed like the picture of health, and really no cause of death has been discussed at this point. But you know her from so many great movies: Annie Hall, Father of the Bride, First Wives Club. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you know, Brian, he's the one that broke the news to me. He knows her from The Godfather. So, yeah, he's like, yeah, The Godfather. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, we all have our favorite. She had a couple kids. I didn't realize she's survived by 2 children, ages 29 and 25. And boy, the tributes are pouring in.
Woody Allen made a long post talking about their romance, of course, working together and their continued friendship. Here's a quote from Woody. "Unlike anyone the planet has experienced or is unlikely to ever see again, her face and laugh illuminated any space she entered." Keaton, of course, starred in 8 of his 50 films.
And then Bette Midler starred in First Wives Club with Keaton, and she says, "I cannot tell you how unbearably sad this makes me. She was hilarious, a complete original, and completely without Gil or any of the competitiveness one would have expected from such a star. What you saw was who she was."
She sure seemed to be loving life in her later years. A lot of her public appearances, she said just find her zone, you know. Maybe she's not partnered up with anybody or whatever, but she was just loving life.
And 79 just isn't that old.
I know, I know. Well, rest in peace. Gosh, we will love those movies for so long.
All right, you had a heck of a weekend, Laura.
I
I'm
will tell-
surprised you're awake.
If I make any mistakes today, which I already have, it's 3 hours of sleep. The Gulf Coast was just showing out. We had the Destin and the Pensacola Beach Songwriters Festivals. Couldn't get to all of it, but the Destin one, keep your eye on that. That was their first year. More to come on that. But I wanted to share with you the wrap up of the Summer Beach Concert Series at Juanas Pagodas in Navarre. Pardon my video, I'm not a videographer. That is Jason Sheff, the lead singer of Chicago for 30 years, starting in 1985. So we're talking like 20 top 10 hits, almost every Chicago song that you know. So many. If she would have been faithful, what kind of man would I be? He, so good. 64 years old, he tore it up. I wish the audio was good quality, but I want to show you something else. I had interviewed him last week. We showed it here on the Morning Current. And so he came out and spent a couple of minutes with me and my husband, really about 15 minutes talking, telling some of his stories, and he was just as kind and gracious. When you think about the megastar that this guy is, he was just really wanting us to feel like we were having a good time, and just, you always think if you're going to meet somebody famous, what if they're not nice?
I've met a few that are not nice.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't met that many.
And
so.
some that are just wonderful. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, it was great, and just so proud of our October is the time you can't get to it all, but what a great problem to have.
Last week, I talked about my favorite princess, Princess Kate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Unlike the other Prince-I. Is that the plural of princess?
I don't know, but she is the best princess.
She seems so down to earth. Anyway, she talked about screen time and her kids and all that, saying screen time, too many people are spending too much time on the, the doom scrolling hour after hour.
And the effect that it has on young people. There have been so many studies, particularly young girls, but really all of them. And so we asked you a question.
Yeah, we said, how much time do you spend each day behind the screen? And the results are in 3 to 5 hours. Looks like it's taking the lead.
Looks like people are being pretty honest, I think, because there's always a temptation. Like when your doctor asks you, do you have an alcoholic drink? You're like, oh, once in a while, or whatever. But 3 to 5 hours, and then a few people, 20% admitted 5+ hours a day.
I met a guy over the weekend, and we were talking about screen time, and he said 15 minutes is what he spends a day.
15 minutes a day?
Yeah,
Good
he's
for him.
like, I'm never on my phone. I'm like, okay, that's cool.
You know, by the way,
I'm very much on my phone.
By the way, the doctors know you're lying in all these questions, and they pad it to make.
Your phone will tell you your screen time, so you can guess it, but you have the stats on your phone.
And you do have those programs that will set. My husband gets reminders when he's been on for 15 minutes. It says, "Hey, do you want to maybe take a break?"
Now, here is my big question. Okay, screen time. I think when you say screen time, you think about the doom scrolling, Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. What if you're reading a book? If you're reading a book, is that okay?
I don't know.
You're still looking at a screen, so I wonder.
Yeah, but does that fall into the screen time? You know what I'm saying?
Or you don't know what I'm saying? Looking for exceptions?
I don't know.
No, seriously. You make a fine point, and we don't know the answer. Jared is always asking the questions that are quite difficult to answer.
My answer to that one, no, it's perfectly fine if you're reading a nice book.
All right, jury selection begins today for Jesse Lacoste. Remember this case? We will run down what the former contractor is accused of. morning. After more than 2 years in captivity, the last of the living Israeli hostages held by Hamas have been released.
Thousands gathered in Hostage Square in Tel Aviv to celebrate the return of those hostages. The deceased hostages, including 2 Americans, have yet to be, I think 4 have been returned. The rest not quite yet, and there is some concern whether or not they actually will be by some folks in Israel.
Israel at this point promising to release 2,000 Palestinian prisoners. And of course, President Trump in Israel this morning to try to help move forward this stage of the ceasefire. The hostage release is phase 1. Trump playing a critical role in brokering the deal, planning to meet with hostage families in Israel.
In a speech this morning, he got many standing ovations, thanking the many people who worked to make this thing happen, including, of course, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who says he is, quote, committed to this peace.
We'll bring you updates as they unfold, but let's get to Northwest Florida. And jury selection in a very high-profile case begins today. Jesse Lacoste, the former contractor who is indicted for racketeering and fraud. He was indicted in November of 2023, accused of defrauding homeowners, their insurance companies, and subcontractors out of more than $2 million. Now, the charges are punishable by a max of 30 years in prison for each count. The indictment says the crimes took place between June of 2018 and August of 2022. And Lacoste is also accused of falsifying applications to get his county and state contractor licenses. He was arrested 7 times in 2023 during the investigation. Held in the Escambia County Jail, a bond at $372,000. Also had a number of complaints out of Santa Rosa County. And you remember the case was bigger. Lacoste's brother-in-law, Matt Banks, was indicted in April of 23 on 4 counts in Escambia County. Now, he was accused of stealing $5 million from 150 victims back in 2019. He'll face up to 95 years in prison if convicted. No trial date has yet been set for Banks. A rural town in Middle Tennessee, they're mourning the loss of 16 people. They're all killed in an explosion at an explosives plant. This happened Friday in McEwen, which is west of Nashville. The business is called Accurate Energetic Systems. They basically do supplies and they research explosives for the military. Right now, they don't know what caused the blast. 16 people killed, no survivors. They brought in rapid DNA team to identify the victims. Investigators and cleanup, they say it's going to be tricky because of remaining explosives. Could take months to rule out foul play or find exactly what happened. The company's history, though, is coming to light. In 2019, they got several small fines from the U.S. Department of Labor. These related to violations of policies that were to protect workers from exposure to chemicals. Well, it looks like fall is here, but only for a little bit. Yeah, I think that's what I heard. I said, oh, Brooke, it's time for sweaters. And she's like, not so much.
Yeah, it's going to be warming up as we head into the end of the week. We're going to be waking back up into the 70s. The humidity is returning as well. We're going to be seeing this cooler weather at least for the next few days through Wednesday, but by Thursday, it's going to be looking a little bit different. So enjoy it while you can. We do have some lovely weather right now over our Gulfarium camera, Okaloosa Island. It is looking lovely in the 50s, the 60s. We're warming up into the mid 80s. So a normal fall Florida day with those cooler mornings, warmer afternoons. Very light breeze is what we have right now, anywhere from 3 to even 8 miles an hour out of the north. So very light breeze is what we're going to be dealing with. Your radar is going to be completely dry. We do have those nice sunny skies. As you head out the door today, it is going to look perfect. We do have temperatures warming up. Getting into the mid 80s today. It does come with the sunshine. Overnight tonight, we will have temperatures dropping again. We'll be back into the 60s and 50s. You can see back into the 70s, mid 70s by 7 p.m. So it starts to cool off pretty early as we get into the evening.
Check it out, that Monday morning drive. You know, at least you drive over the 3-mile bridge and see that beautiful water. No traffic problems to tell you about right now. We'll keep watching it for you. It is 7:34. What does it feel like to have a winning lottery ticket in your hand?
Yeah, I bought two scratch-offs and I lost $3. I didn't get anything, so I wouldn't know.
Nor I.
Yeah, I'll make 3 in the loser club. We have no idea.
However, a winning Fantasy 5 ticket was bought in Pensacola for Sunday's draw, worth, give or take, $32,091. There are 3 total winners. The ticket was bought at the Winn-Dixie on South Blue Angel Parkway. It was a quick pick. The winning numbers on your screen: 1, 10, 16, 23, 26, 36. Powerball drawing tonight. Jackpot $258 million. You'll walk home with 120.8. That'll take care of things. And then, of course, then there's Mega Millions.
Yeah, it's tomorrow night, $600 million jackpot, cash value $277.2 million.
Yeah, maybe this is the time, y'all, when we turn our luck
Maybe,
around.
maybe today's my day.
I want to keep I'm going to keep the rest of my money.
Yeah, hang on to your other $3,
Right?
You've been burned.
Yeah, never again.
Moving on with the news at 7:35, hundreds of hikers were rescued on Mount Everest last week, but should they even be climbing?
Utilizing artificial intelligence, our police department in Arizona is finding an interesting use of that technology.
You know what we do have, guys?
What?
Well, a moment to share for a coffee break, and I think Brooke's mug, that might be worth another $3. Very cool. Cheers.
It's empty.
Breaking Taylor Swift news.
Yes, we've dubbed Brooke our Taylor Swift reporter right now
Yeah.
with the breaking news.
Okay, I'm ready for it. It's a 6-part docuseries. It's just been announced. It's on the Eras Tour, and it's called, listen to this, The End of an Era. It's behind-the-scenes look at the inner workings of the tour. Swift performed at sold-out stadiums around the world from May 2023 to December 2024. The first 2 episodes hit Disney Plus December 12th. 2 episodes released weekly for the next 2 weeks, so get ready, mark it on your calendars. Also, December 12th is Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour, the final show, premieres on Disney Plus. It features the entire set of Swift's The Tortured Poets Department.
The Taylor Tracker, y'all. We've got it covered.
Big news.
I swear, this is amazing. I mean,
Well, it's amazing what it's going to all cost after you bought your 12 copies of Life of a Showgirl.
you got to get your Disney subscription going, Disney Plus, I guess.
There you go.
And
Right.
all that. I'll watch Landman. I'll be fine.
Somebody let us know how all that goes. We wanted to talk about Mount Everest because last week we gave you several updates, those hikers that were stranded in the freak snowstorm, but it's really sparked a debate about should people be climbing Mount Everest at all?
I shouldn't. The number of hikers increased big in the 1990s, the Sherpas. More climbers means more reliance on Sherpa labor. They undertake the most dangerous and difficult tasks.
Yeah, and the accumulation of waste at base camps, items left along the trail, is a concern for the environment.
Then there's the cost, but I want to back up to the environment thing, because how could you not see the photos and the videos of the human waste? They have no place to put it in those freezing conditions. So then, as you mentioned, the cost is an obstacle. Some of these guides charge anything from $30,000 to $130,000 based on how much assistance they're giving you and how luxurious your portable camp is.
Well, you're going to climb the mountain, you want to do it in style and luxury. I just wanted to mention that in terms of the stuff left behind, their body's still up there.
Yeah.
That they can't recover.
These are extreme conditions. Then you've got all the garden variety personal risks like high altitude sickness, avalanches, ice fall, extreme cold, exhaustion, weather. It goes on and on.
Yeah, and one analyst found a 1 in 20 chance of not making it back down after reaching the summit. And there's 5 deaths in 2025 spring season, 400 permits granted to climb Everest in 2025.
But we should mention that these people rescued last week were not climbers, they were hikers. They weren't trying to get up to the summit, kind of the low level, let's just do it. And they got surprised by the bad weather.
Yeah. For the people that do climb, I mean, I guess they would argue that the challenge is worth it all.
Yeah.
Conquering the summit is worth all of it. So interesting.
This is interesting. We talk about AI all the time. AI, depending how you look at the whole thing, is it Terminator, or is it going to be Star Trek? What kind of future does it bring to us? Here we go. An Arizona law enforcement agency is testing the use of AI.
Yeah, the Pima County Sheriff's Department started a trial run of Axon's Draft 1 at the beginning of the year. This is a program that uses AI to write the incident reports.
Yeah, the body cameras record the interactions, and then the program uses the audio plus any additional information from the deputy to create a first draft.
The deputies review everything they say before they turn in the final report. And one deputy says that this system chopped the report time from 30 minutes to 5 minutes.
The paperwork's got to be a real pain for these officers.
At the end of your shift, you don't want to deal with it. But also, people's lives are hanging in the balance. When you say, is this Terminator or Star Trek? I'm not sure yet, because if you use AI very much at all, you know that it kind of makes stuff up sometimes.
Well, in this instance, the officers, they review and make sure, and I would hope that effort would continue rather than just saying push the button and go.
Yeah, well, we want to know what you think. Do you believe law enforcement should use AI programs when writing reports? Yes or no? You can scan the QR code on your screen to weigh in.
And last week we asked you a very important question. Yes. How often do you shower?
Remember? I showered this morning. I just sort of like to just let you know.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. There was a viral video on TikTok about a woman who said she only showers twice a week. That was what sparked the question, and here are the answers.
Yeah, 59% of you say you shower every day, 23% of you say you shower every other day, 13% twice a week, 5% voting saying they shower multiple times a day. Sometimes that's me.
And one person says he enjoys a nice sponge bath.
If you want to review these stories and the hard news, you can find it all on WEAR News' YouTube channel, top local and national, YouTube Shorts, and the Morning Minute. Just search WEAR News on YouTube.
Getting back to the hard news in just a minute here on the Morning Current, a deadly plane crash in Texas. The investigation is underway, and they're trying to figure out how this happened. This one happened in Fort Worth.
It was Sunday about 1:30 in the afternoon, and it happened between two small airports in the Fort Worth area.
Yeah, the plane hit 18-wheelers. It burst into flames. It took 35 minutes to get the fire under control. The victims did die at the scene, not yet identified.
At least 10 big rigs were damaged. Now the NTSB and the FAA both investigating. They confirmed the plane was a Beechcraft King Air.
It had taken off from Fort Worth. We don't yet know where that plane was headed, and we'll work to get more details on that one. But we're going to move to a scary incident out of Southern California. 5
people, including a child, injured after a helicopter crash. This happened in Southern California Saturday afternoon at Huntington Beach, south of LA.
Yeah, well, the crash was near a parking lot. This video is crazy. It shows the helicopter. You see it spinning, crashes at the stairway of a pedestrian bridge.
Yeah, 2 people were pulled to safety from the helicopter, 3 people on the ground injured, all 5 taken to the hospital, no conditions released. It is closed Pacific Coast Highway for several hours to investigate. FAA and NTSB investigating.
As a side note, several other small helicopters in the parking lot where the crash happened at an exclusive helicopter landing party was being held at a nearby rooftop lounge.
Yeah, they had invited guests to watch helicopters arrive from a bird's eye view. The helicopter was registered to a man named Eric Nixon, and there is an Instagram account called Nixon Helicopters. They posted that 2 people were safe and in the hospital, reports indicating the owner was on board and was injured.
Good morning. It is 7:48. This is I-10 near Avalon Boulevard. This morning you can see traffic there moving smoothly. No problems for your morning drive at this point in time.
First Warning WeatherNet is sponsored by Peden Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electrical. Here is meteorologist Brooke Richardson.
Good morning. We are looking at a lovely start to your day, and we are going to be seeing some perfect weather as we head throughout your day today and heading into the next couple of days. It's going to be cooler in the morning, warmer in the afternoon. Heading into the later part of the week, we are going to be looking just a touch warmer. So we are going to have a little bit of a change coming for us. We do have those clear skies over our radar right now. Let's get you through what we can expect over the next couple of days. Not much of a change today. Tomorrow, Wednesday is when we'll start to see some small changes. So those nice clear skies lasting through that Tuesday. Heading into Wednesday, we will have a little more of an easterly flow, and that is going to start to bring in some of that moisture, some of that humidity. You'll start to feel that humidity increasing heading into Thursday. That's going to change those overnight temperatures. It will also allow a small rain chance to move in heading into the weekend. So that's what we will be watching. We definitely need the rain in the area. We're looking at abnormally dry to moderate drought conditions across the area. So we are looking very dry. This is going to be helping us out if we do happen to see those showers. Overall rain chance still very low, 30 to 40% for Saturday, Sunday. Let's look at the temperatures now, because this will be the biggest change that you see. We do have 50s, 60s right now. Currently, we will have your highs in the mid 80s. Highs won't change too much moving forward. We'll still stay in the low to mid 80s through the rest of the week. It's those overnight temperatures that we will feel a difference as we have more humidity move in. So it's going to be nice, dry, cooler through those overnights through Wednesday. Thursday is when things start to increase. We'll have muggy, humid air starting to build in, so that's going to make it feel a bit warmer through the overnight. You'll be in the 70s as you wake up starting Friday morning. Let's talk about the tropics real quick. We do have our newly named tropical storm Lorenzo. It is still going to be in the open waters of the Atlantic. We've been seeing a lot of our named storms take a similar path to this, so it is going to be really falling in line with that. No concern for the U.S. We'll continue to monitor it for you as it turns in those open waters. Let's take a look at your week ahead. We do have that beautiful week for you. Nice and sunny today, mostly sunny through the week, and then small rain chances heading into your weekend.
Louis Vuitton venturing into the makeup world and selling out big time. How much they're charging for these ultra luxury products.
We are on the edge of an argument here.
This story is
We're getting-
sparking a colorful debate. We're talking about Louis Vuitton's first ever makeup collection. It's selling out, and how anybody can afford it is the subject of our conversation.
Yeah, the line is called La Beauty Louis Vuitton. It's an ultra luxury lipstick, balms, and eyeshadows, and the products come in refillable monogram tubes and compacts.
Okay, the eyeshadow palettes, 4 colors and refillable, $250 American.
The Rouge lipsticks, Rouge, are $160, and this is Jared's favorite book. The cosmetic lip pouch is $605. It holds 1 tube of lipstick.
Well, I mean, Louis Vuittons are expensive. They're like their purses, so I guess that falls in line with their bags.
Yeah.
Tiny bag, I guess.
I guess it does. I just don't understand.
We're CVS girls right here, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I like, my favorite is it's a L'Oreal light. It's like $12.
Yeah.
And
And you
what's
look
yours?
great.
And it lasts me like 6 months.
You know?
$24 a year.
But if you were to win Mega Millions, would you go ahead and
No,
spend?
because I've tried the expensive stuff once. Not that expensive. It was like $30 instead of $12. But I didn't like it. I didn't feel good.
All right, time to review again the life and times of producer AJ.
Yay!
Oh my gosh, our sweet little Lila turned 4 on the weekend, and I think that's just part of the update from AJ. Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, I wanted to share some pictures from her birthday party. We were out Thursday and Friday celebrating. We had her party on Saturday. She was a green witch for her birthday. We made it happen. We painted her green. As you can see in our pictures, the green didn't last very long because she's 4, but she got her wish. She got to be a green witch. She's big Wicked fan, so she loves Elphaba and wanted to be a green witch. I also wanted to share, though, John Parker did some bobbing for apples. This is her little brother, one of the twins. And then big brother Ted, though, has a big update as well. He got glasses, y'all.
There
My
we
baby
go.
boy
Yeah.
Teddy has glasses.
He is styling is what he's doing.
Look sharp.
He's styling, he's rocking them, and he's, you know what, he doesn't even try to pull them off anymore. He realized he can see when he wears them, so he doesn't bother them. We're doing good. But that's my very quiz. We're running out of time. That's my very quick children update. But thank you guys for letting me show you
we
Lila
love
as a
the
green
green
witch.
baby.
All right, thank you, AJ, producer of one of the producers of the Morning Current, which will return momentarily.